Hello everyone, welcome to Flowers Which Bloom in Winter. Now this was developed by Kimioto or Yotoge collection, and right now this is a demo, so things you see right now might change later down the line. Anyways, let me take a look at the settings because I am a fast reader. Let me just shoot this up. Music is a little bit loud for me, so I will just lower that quite a bit. Sound maybe, just in case. Yeah, things look good. So let's go ahead and start the game. Beware your rogue witches. Those words of warning from before I left the capital linger over me. Magic is scarce in this land. I left the comforts of the castle to travel incognito, touring the land over which my family governs. As a prince of Hiemswald, it was something of a rite of passage. To foster growth through overcoming challenges and obstacles that would appear before me. Perhaps like the one I'm facing now.
Please, just take whatever, just don't hurt my child.
A dagger digs deeply into the walls of the wagon, splitting apart the worn wooden planks, as a run-of-the-mill bandit blocks its entrance. Quiet! I'd hitched a ride on my way to the next village, sharing the vehicle with the mother and her child. Little did I know things would quickly turn out like this. Thankfully, there weren't any other people. I would have trouble ensuring their safety otherwise. As the bandit looks away, checking on the gang of thieves behind him, I take my chance to launch our defense. I stealthily reach out for the heaviest piece of luggage beside me, and fling it towards the bandit's face. Almost comically, he stumbles back, caught off guard by the projectile, and falls out of the carriage. I turn to the woman, cradling her child tightly in her arms. Stay here. She nods, and with a small window of opportunity, I grab my sword that was resting to my side and jump out of the wagon. Seemingly as shocked at my presence, the gang of thieves groups around the entrance to the carriage. Band of 6, huh? From my initial survey, they did not seem particularly strong or well organized. So, I take stance. Yeah! The 6 bandits now lay on the ground, seemingly unconscious. I sigh and slip my sword back in the sheath. I had the basic swordsmanship classes, but I was an all-star pupil by any means. Trying not to cause bloodshed by only using the back of my sword to knock them out was especially difficult. Feeling relieved, I checked back inside the wagon to assure the woman and the driver's safety. Is everything alright?
Ow.
The woman winces and looks back up towards me, still holding tightly onto her child. Unfortunately, during the height of our battle, it seems a bandit knocked against the wagon, causing some of the stacked up cargo to fall on the woman. She clutches her foot, seemingly trying to hide its disfigurement all the while.
I think it's dislocated.
It does appear rather out of shape. There's no way she can walk like this. I turn back to the driver, who still remains passed out from the shock at the front of the wagon. I wonder how far the next village is. As I ponder on the next cause of action, I hear some rattling behind me. Huh? A small bright light begins to escape my pocket. The royal seal glows, indicating that use of magic in proximity. I instinctively reach to my pocket. Yet, before I could figure out what was happening, I was quickly struck into a daze. A fierce pain met the back of my head as I fall towards the floor. I squint my eyes as my vision shifts in and out of darkness to see one of the bandits lying beside me. He must have used the last of his energy to deal the blow. My head continues to pan as my vision gets darker, the road before me quickly turning black. With the last of my strength, I look towards the seal. The glow begins to fade as the magic dissipates. It doesn't look like it light up again. I think back to the words of the advisor. Be wary, rogue witches. Magic is scarce in this land. To think I'd encounter one. As I am overcome by darkness, with the world disappearing before me, the sound of footsteps from behind me echo against the droning silence surrounding me. I do my best to hold on, pushing myself up from the wooden floor and stumbling out of the carriage towards the source of the noise. I should probably find help. I staggered down the road in a daze. With my consciousness quickly fading, I just hope I can find someone in time to help the people I left behind. I tread along the torn, snow-covered path. I stumble into a clearing, shaking my head in an attempt to clear my vision a little. Is someone there? With the last of my sight, I look at the scene before me. A beautiful lady standing ahead, with flowing snow-like hair, almost sinking into the world of white around her as the snowflakes scatter around us. Am I dreaming? As stunning as it is, her presence slowly begins to thaw as I start to lose sense of my surroundings. I quite like the music right now. I don't know if it's custom made or from a royalty-free library. I'm gonna have to check, but it sounds quite nice.
Are you alright?
Up ahead, carriage, bandits. The pounding in my head increases and the words are getting hard to form. Which... My mind fades as I fall against the soft snow at my feet. Her shocked face burns into my mind as I finally drift away.
Wait, don't get up so fast.
My head throbs as I regain my vision. Where am I? Let me take a good look. She's got simple animations, she's got blinking, that's quite nice. I also quite like the background. Even though there's not much in it, it looks very cozy. I also like the houses that you can see outside the windows too. An unknown lady settles me back down into what feels like a bed. She takes a damp towel off my forehead and dries it with another.
How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? I look around my surroundings, only being able to make out small miscellaneous items in the room through my hazed vision. A small oil lamp lay on the cabinet beside my bed as the morning light enters through the small windows lining the wall to my side. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Did I pass out?
You still seem to be in a daze. It's only natural, I suppose. You've been asleep for 2 whole days after all.
Oh my god. I almost got smacked hard on the head. 2 days? Where was I before? Actually, how did I get here? All I can remember is leaving the capital and... Sorry. Where am I?
Let's see... The town of Rindias. This is the guest room in my apothecary.
Oh, it's yeah.
Which is actually my home.
The girl pauses before her expression shifts to one of embarrassment as she lets out a small gasp.
Oh, sorry for the late introduction. I'm Elysium, but please call me Allie.
Elysium, huh? Calling her alley? Might be a little overfamiliar. I hope I'm saying her name right. If I'm not, I do apologize. Thank you, Elysium.
Allie.
Alley. She's certainly persistent about her name. She smiles as I concede. I languidly sit myself up, still in a bit of a daze. From what I can remember, I was on my way to the next village and... The people on the wagon, are they alright? It quickly comes back to me as my head begins to clear. I was on my way out of the capital, hitching a ride on a wagon when bandits attacked.
The mother and the child? They're alright. I treated them. Her ankle was pretty beat up, otherwise just a couple of small cuts and bruises that'll heal up in time.
And the driver?
Oh, right. He's fine too. He just needed a little rest.
That's... good to hear. I breathe a sigh of relief as Allie resumes tending to her business. At a glance, she really does seem quite friendly.
Give me a moment. I need to put this away.
As she steps aside, her attention quickly shifts to the sudden sound of a door opening downstairs. Looks like there's a visitor. A voice calls out from down below.
Hey, Allie.
The voice gradually becomes louder as they ascend the steps.
So, how's pretty boy holding up? Is he awake yet?
Ah, her. I like her design. She is also quite cute too. Another girl chimes in on my condition before freezing as our eyes meet. Is she happy to see me, I hope?
Hello.
Hello? We're both awkward and nervous. It's adorable. She's very cute. I like her. That's certainly a change of personality. I'm not too sure what to say after hearing that. Flattering nickname, so I decided to stay quiet. Perhaps being embarrassed from having me overheard, the lively air from when she first entered has now calmed. She scratches his head and looks away, perhaps thinking of what to say next. Taking a closer look, I can see a slightly worn out crossbow resting on the quiver on her waist. A long cape drifts down her body, in contrast to her shortly kept golden hair. Is she a hunter?
This is Holly. She's the one who called over some villagers to carry you here.
I'm sorry for the trouble, and thank you, Holly. My head seems to be a lot clearer now. Pardon my late introduction. I'm Rue. Oh damn, this music.
Oh, Rue, I have to say I'm impressed. Art of your feet from Adele.
Adele?
The lady from the wagon. She's a friend of my grandma's, so yep, my thanks as well.
No wonder. I hadn't asked for the lady's name. Thinking about it now, it's kind of embarrassing. For a Prince of Hiemswald, it's rather ungentlemanly.
I heard you took out all 6 bandits yourself.
I inadvertently frowned at the mention of the number. Not 7? Holly looks at me quizzically before answering.
We heard similar accounts from both Adele and the driver. Perhaps they missed one during the commotion. The bandits had taken off by the time we got there.
Does that mean we have a magic user on the loose? That's not good. I should probably try to find them. I hastily get up, pulling myself out of sheets and straighten myself out.
And where do you think you're going?
But just as I'm about to stand, Holly pushes me down by the shoulder, forcing me back onto the bed. Her force isn't particularly strong, but the dull pain stings out as she presses against some of the injuries I sustained. Yet, I can't sit around and let such a potentially dangerous individual be on the loose. Sorry, there's somewhere I really need to be right now.
Those bandits would be long gone by now.
No, it's just, I was on my way to meet someone and... Of course that was a lie, at least from my perspective, but judging by the look on Holly's face, I may as well have just started my own true intentions. They could still be in the area.
Why would they hang around an area which is not on high alert? In the first place, you'd be a fool to just charge back in after barely making it out. Please, value your life a little more.
It doesn't look like she's going to let me go, despite the obvious threats. Yet if I mention the witch, it might cause panic. Granted, for a hunter, Holly doesn't look weak, but magic can be dangerous. Knowledge of its existence much more so. Although thinking about it, the magic I encountered was not particularly strong, actually. Seems like it was one use only. Could have been a lot more hurt, not worse. Chances are they had fled along the rest of the bandits too. They need time to recover. You're right, my apologies.
Apologies? No need to be so formal. We aren't royalty. Just a sorry would do.
Right. Being incognito and all, it makes sense that they wouldn't recognize me. Thinking about it, it's funny. It's rare to be private such a casual, normal life. Guess I should keep that a secret for now. I'm sorry. Are you angry?
Maybe.
I shoot Holly a perplexed look to encounter a scornful expression, indicating my ignorance.
Honestly, you didn't deserve all the care and effort Allie put in to take care of you these 2 days. Especially since you're about to just up and leave.
Sorry. I definitely would have come back to properly thank her afterwards. This probably isn't the time to try defending myself. I did, after all, not think things through before I tried to act. It's a habit I'm still working to curb.
It's alright, really.
Allie joins the conversation, having finished tending to the room. Now more than ever would be the best chance to express thanks for what they have done. No, she's right. Please tell me, what can I do to properly express my gratitude? The girls take a moment of pause to face one another, locking their faces in thought.
Is there anything you think this guy could do? He should still be recovering.
I think I'll be fine. I'm sturdier than I look. Also, my gratitude is not limited to Allie. I would like to thank you too, Holly.
Me? I barely did anything though.
You called for the villagers, did you not?
Yeah, that's all I did, really.
Had you not, I and the others would have had a much harder time getting to this village. She doesn't seem too convinced, but blushes slightly nonetheless.
I have an idea. First, I have to say, Ellie, my benefactor, so helping her would be helping me out too. I'm receiving a lot of help from you too, though. So how about helping us out here?
The apothecary?
Yes.
I do have a little knowledge on herbs, but I'm probably not proficient enough to help make medicine.
Doesn't have to be making medicine.
Once again, Holly returns to thought. She looks towards Allie, who stands at her side looking perplexed.
Ellie, what did you have planned for tomorrow? Tomorrow you're planning on getting more herbs, so I wanted to repack some of the herbal drawers. Mainly changing up the wrapping papers. I felt it was about time. Oh, how about we let you choose?
She seems almost proud of the idea.
You could help me repackage things, or head out with Holly. I don't really need the help though. You get to cover more ground. I'll be expecting more of the rarer ones. If you say so. So, what would you like to do tomorrow?
We could stay in. Oh, I did not realize the snow. Let's go out with Holly. Let's see what's going on. Perhaps it wouldn't be such a bad idea to head outside and stretch my legs. As long as I don't push myself too hard, I should be alright. I could head out with Holly. If it means getting more herbs, I could consider to start paying you two back.
After all we've done, you better be walking back with a basket in each arm. Holly? If you're feeling up to it, that is.
At least she's optimistic about my recovery. I'll do my best. I want to make it back to you both, after all.
Just focus on your recovery and worry about that stuff tomorrow. Oh, and if you need anything, don't be afraid to call for one of us.
I'll certainly consider it. Thanks. With that, Allie and Holly take their leave. I guess for now, all I can do is rest and wait for tomorrow to arrive. Having only just risen from my slumber, spending a few moments throughout the morning to make myself presentable, I head down the stairs with light footsteps so as to not disrupt the morning tranquility. Yet my attempts at maintaining the peace are ultimately fruitless. As I descend the final steps, I'm greeted by the sight of Holly, grasping onto a dark brown coat as she gestures for me to take it with an outstretched arm. This is...
Don't you know what a coat is for? You can't have you catching a cold out there.
I haven't agreed to follow her yesterday. I had woken up early to prepare for her outing, only to realize that some of my luggage had been ruined in the scuffle with the bandits. But the coat I had been wearing, and the spear I had brought with me, were in tatters. I was prepared to go on our excursion without one, taking my chances with the weather, but... Thank you.
You had so little luggage, I figured I would bring one just in case. Looks like it was good I did.
She looks at me incredulously, unbelieving I would try to leave in my current getup. I didn't think I was particularly underdressed, but perhaps I had underestimated this terrain. Trying to avoid her piercing gaze, I start to put on the coat.
I was thinking we could hunt for dinner while we're in the forest.
Sure, I'll just follow your lead. I trusted to be more knowledgeable than when it comes to hunting around these parts. I doubt she'd be happy if I pushed myself either. With that information, the two of us head out on our expedition. We left the apothecary, now finding ourselves weaving through the forest as we tread across the snowy ground beneath our feet. It might be that Holly was not used to having company on her errands, but not a word had been uttered between us since we'd set off. However, it's not an awkward silence. It's as if we're given the chance to take in my new surroundings in their entirety. But silence between us is soon broken as we reach the outskirts.
It might be a little late to ask, but do you know how to hunt?
The question catches me off guard, although by itself is quite a reasonable thing to ask. Oh, yeah. I might not be the most adept, but I've had experience accompanying my father on occasion. It's not often though, because we live quite a ways from the forest. Although for us, hunting was more of a sport than a means to survive. We'd occasionally bring out a pack of pheasant or two, but it was nothing I was ever skilled at. Not that I couldn't take a larger animal if I had to, but hunting is a lot more intricate than defending oneself from wild animals. It's a slow and patient process. I should probably mention I can only have the most basic knowledge of herbs. I would appreciate your guidance.
Wouldn't that have been easier to stay with Allie in that case?
I felt like getting out, stretching my legs, and taking the fresh air and all. Can't stand staying inside.
Yeah, I can get that.
Holly begins to walk in a slightly more exaggerated manner, taking larger but lighter steps. Perhaps her mood had been lightened by the revelation of a common trait, shared with a man whom she thought she was nothing like, no less. Trying to keep the momentum of our conversation, not wanting to return to our prior silence, I tried to think of the most innocuous question I could ask. Are you two sisters? You and Allie, I mean. She looked shocked. Holly's expression further broadens at the question.
Who else is there? Me and you. You're not the first to say that, but no, we aren't. Although, we're close enough, maybe.
Leaving it at that, we continue our small talk as we navigate through the forest, reaching the area where we were to gather herbs from. Pardon me for asking something personal, but did you perhaps grow up here? You seem extremely familiar with the area.
You mean the forest? Yeah, I actually lived near Allie's place, with my grandmother.
Holly's expression softens at the mention of her relative, perhaps reminiscing of warmer days. You must really adore your grandmother.
Ah, that I do. She's the only family I have. I cherish her a lot.
Her bright smile negates any possible connotations of a pitiable situation from her words, showing she has chosen to cherish what she has at the moment.
She brought me up herself. Now that I think about it, grandmother comes from the capital too.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she often tells me how she grew up there. Wide, paved streets and shops twice as tall, and pedestrians strolling by to find his garments. Seeing that would seem to sparkle, be it day or night.
She's not wrong.
It's a lot hard for me to imagine though, considering I've been here in this little village all my life.
Thought comes to me. Would you like to go to the capital one day? She brightens.
Oh, definitely. Only to visit though. I don't think I want to live there.
Why not? You might find better employment there. Her brightness fades.
Are you saying what I do isn't good enough?
Not at all. I've heard many people traveling there for work. She smiles.
It's alright, I was just joking. I know what you're getting at. Employment, huh?
Holly looks towards the depths of this forest with a gaze that seemed to see right through the trees.
I don't know. Don't think I'd be able to leave.
She turns back and faces me once again.
I have plenty of friends I'd hate to leave here too. Well, these are just fleeting thoughts anyway. While the thought of visiting the capital is nice, I can't just leave my grandmother behind.
I see. It's very responsible of you.
It's what I ought to do.
As we continue to chatter, I notice the color of the grass change as we pass a certain region. I'm guessing we're close?
You're right. This is the area. I can tell.
This area just seems a little different.
You have a good sense then. I hope you'll be just as good at finding the correct herbs.
I'll try my best. As we fulfilled our task, we'd also managed to capture some rabbits for our meal afterwards. It was certainly a lot different than I imagined, but fun nonetheless. We came back to the area to see if we missed anything before we head back. You really seem familiar with these parts, especially.
Well, I do come here a lot.
Do you often help Allie with gathering herbs and materials then?
Only on occasion.
Noticing me pondering upon the seemingly contradictory statements, Holly frowns a little. It did not seem to be towards any confusion, but towards herself, perhaps relating to words she was about to say.
Well, I'm looking for something.
I could not help but stare at the seriousness of her expression, and as I wavered to ask what she wished to find, I heard some footsteps a short distance behind. I turned myself to face the source of the noise. Allie, what are you doing here?
Allie!
Holly calls out with an enthusiastic wave.
Got something for dinner. What did you...
I rushed forward, but the distance between us made it too far for me to catch her. Allie had slipped, falling her bottom with a soft thud as she hit the snow beneath her feet. Holly and I stand in awe as we watch Allie softly rub her behind to ease the pain. A small glint lies within her eyes as she looks up towards us. From here, she almost blends into the snowy landscape around us as her hair flows down her back.
Ow.
Are you alright? I stretch my hand out towards her, offering my assistance.
Thanks.
She gently accepts it, taking my hand in her own as I help her off the ground. Holly, who was further up ahead, made a jog towards us whilst I pulled her up. She dusts off the snow off her behind as Holly approaches with a worried look upon her face.
Does it hurt?
Allie pouts.
I'm not a child.
Holly smirks at her response.
Perhaps I'll start treating you like one if you weren't so clumsy.
Allie just laughs in resignation.
So, what did you catch? Just some rabbits. Picked up some herbs to cook them with too, whilst I was at it. That's great. I'm looking forward to dinner.
Looks like all's okay after all.
Oh, what a pretty background. I like the mountain.
At the long day, the three of us found ourselves heading back to the apothecary.
Oh, you two can head back first. I had to drop by my grandma's to check in on her.
Holly hands Allie the bag full of collected herbs and weeds.
We'll prepare the food then. Also tell her I said hi. Will do.
Holly smiles brightly as she turns to wave back at us, but we're breaking into a small jog in the opposite direction. We watch as she fades further into distance before we turn back to face our original destination.
Alright, shall we go?
Let me hold that. I held my hand out towards the back, seeing Allie momentarily confused by my words.
Oh.
Realizing my gesture, she gently places the bag in my hands.
Thank you.
With that, the two of us head back for the day, satisfied at our accomplishments. We had headed back to the apothecary, and had offered to help out with preparing dinner in the hopes we could finish before Holly came back. It's the least I could do, not only to help Allie, but to speed things along. Allie was initially hesitant, being quite dismissive of my assistance, unsure of how cooking together could work, given she had mainly done it on her own up to this point. It might have also seen that I'd only been offering to help out out of courtesy, not truly knowing my way around the kitchen. But most of all, she did not want to impose on her guests. It would make sense not only to maintain a typical sense of politeness,
but given that I should have been resting too. To convince her, I expressed that I had wished to maintain my culinary skills where I could, as I did not have many opportunities while traveling, and that I would follow her lead. None of it was really a lie, and that's enough for her to relent. Together we made quick work of preparations, and it wasn't long before the food was all cooked. As Ali puts out the plates, we hear the door open. I'm back! How's she doing? Well enough to chase me out while I mentioned having dinner at your place at least. Seems like she's doing better these days. Thanks to you, no less. If so, I'm glad. Holly and Ali smile warmly at one another as they exchange pleasantries, leaving more or less a bystander, looking in on what would be their daily life. Oh, take a seat. We're just about done with preparing the food. That was quick. I was only away for a little while. Holly turns to look at me, cooking utensils in hand. Really, you know how to cook? Just a little. He's being modest. He's much more skilled than I am. You wouldn't believe how fast and neatly he chopped the vegetables. Oh. Holly looks at me inquisitively. You flatter me. Not at all. Did you pick it up from home? The truth was that when I was young, I often skipped music lessons because of how strict the teacher was. One time I ran out to one of the palace's kitchens to hide. The aromas of the kitchen drew me in. Those skills of the chefs that mesmerized me as a child. When I was old enough, I insisted on being allowed to use the kitchen, and the raw cooking became a hobby of mine. Yeah. Something like that. Like that, you say? She almost makes no attempt to hide her look of curiosity. Well, I'm looking forward to feasting on the meal prepared by such skilled chefs. You came over to eat all the time. It's not like you're getting any different from me. And I enjoy it all the same. Ali begins to place the dishes on the table as we take our seats. Let's dig in whilst it's still hot. You sure scattering down quick, Holly. Holly and I had finished our meals before Ali did, and decided to help clean up first. I wiped the table, handing the dirty dishes to Holly, and proceeded to wash them. Are you calling me a glutton? No, not at all. Perhaps that wasn't the best thing to say. I was just surprised by the speed in which you could eat. That's the same thing. She does need a lot of energy to go out hunting after all. Not you too, Ali. Holly averts her head, as if to downplay her slight sense of embarrassment. I'm about done. I can join in with washing the dishes. No need, just take your time eating. Actually, Ellie quickly raised herself from her seat, inadvertently frowning as she stands. Patting the sides of her skirt, the crease of her brow only deepened. Ollie, have you seen my notebook? The small leather one? I don't think so. Nope. I'll go check my room. Allie, uncharacteristically frantic, runs to the back. As I hand the dishes on the table to Holly for washing, I see the worry on her face. It's probably not best to pry, being a mere guest, so I remain quiet. Moments later, Allie returns, trudging towards us. Did you find it? A question that was more of a display of concern than one of inquiry, as we get further results of the search from her sullen expression. She shakes her head, visibly disappointed. It's a leather-bound notebook, right? I'll help look around for it. I wouldn't want to trouble you. It'll probably turn up somewhere. It's no trouble at all, we can... Really, don't worry about it.
Allie forced a hurried smile, trying to reassure us. That's pretty cute. Her demeanor betrays her, however, and does not fill us with any confidence. We decide not to pursue it any further at her insistence.
If you say so.
Having dried out the final plate, Holly places it onto the drying rack. She moves towards the door as she picks up her things.
Well, it's probably about time for me to head back. Oh, thanks for cleaning up for me. Sorry I ran off and ended up not helping out. Nah, no problem. It's the least we could do to repay you for preparing our meals. But anyway, I'm off.
Holly makes her way towards the door, but with enough time to spare, manage to catch her attention before she leaves. Wait, it's quite dark out. Allow me to walk you back.
Oh, you're quite the gentleman.
Holly takes a hold of her crossbow before raising it to her chest with a smile.
Don't worry, I can handle myself.
Alright, so please, just put that down.
I'll keep a lookout for the notebook on my way back.
With that, Allie musters up a smile.
Thank you. Good night, Holly.
Holly casually waves back while strolling at the door with an admirable degree of nonchalance. Or they exit, the lively atmosphere from before soon fades.
It's getting really late. You should head to bed.
Oh, but... She takes the cleaning rag out of my hands.
It's alright. I'll put this back. You're technically still recovering. The more you can get, the better, right?
She puts up a poor attempt at a cheerful facade, but I can't come up with any ideas to raise her from her seemingly sullen mood, so I go along with it. Alright. I'll head up now. No need to keep me shoving me. Good night.
Good night.
With that, I head up the stairs, leaving Allie to her own devices. I now lay in bed, gazing up at the floating dust particles illuminated by the moonlight as my mind wanders. I've always had trouble falling asleep in unfamiliar environments. I guess passing on its first sign had some benefits to it, at least. Considering that, it's really been quite the eventful few days. To think that I've traveled all the way to Rindius, well, with a little assistance, of course. Thinking back on it, had we stayed clear of those bandits, we probably could have made it a lot further. In hindsight, though, there's some good to be had after all. Meeting Allie and Holly, after all, if it wasn't for their help, I couldn't fathom what kind of situation I would have been in now. Had she only been minutes earlier, in the wrong place at the wrong time, I try to think what those bandits would have done to her, Allie. Maybe it was for the best that we were the ones to catch their attention. But looking back on it, small wagging like that couldn't have possibly been worth all the commotion. Laying my head back into the pillow, I try to think of the brighter events of the past few days. Helping out with the apothecary is the least I could do to pay them back for their generosity. To think that they showed such kindness to a total stranger only makes me wonder as to how they'd react if they knew who I really was. Perhaps here, in the forest, even as simple as things may be, anyone could live a peaceful life. I guess I still have a lot to learn. Hunting, herb picking, tasks like that would have passed me by at the palace. As I recall our outing in the forest, it's hard not to chuckle at today's seemingly lighthearted events, what with Allie's fall and all. As inappropriate as it is, I smile wryly at the thought, finding an air of cuteness in her mishap. Thinking about it, could she have dropped it then? I recall seeing something brown beside her as she fell, but never thought to give it a second glance, thinking it was a branch or twig of sorts.
All talk of plans must have gone to my head. It's quite late already, but that'd be the first place to look for it in the morning. It's unlikely for anyone else to pass by the area at this time. But the troubled look on Allie's face cannot escape my mind, no matter how long I lay here. If I head out now, surprising her with it tomorrow, it would save them both time and repair for her hospitality. I grabbed my sword, which was resting by the bed, and got up as quietly as I could. In the midst of the night, the sound of snow crunching beneath my feet fills the silence around me as I approach the spot we had been at prior. It must be around here somewhere. I trace our footsteps as I look around with it, not taking long to find Allie's lost property. Ah, here it is. As I bend down to pick up the notebook, the seal in my pocket glows yet again. This time, ominously brighter than before. There's magic in this book. The surprise had caused me to mutter my words aloud. The new information lets me stunned for a moment as thoughts fly through my head at rapid speed. What could Allie have to do with magic? Why'd she be in possession of an item that caused such reaction from the seal? Look out! Startled by the sudden warning, I turn around quickly. A large boar lunges toward me. In a state of confusion, it seems I had failed to notice the dangers of the forest. By the time I had noticed it, it was only a few feet away. There's not enough time to react. Before I could close my eyes, the wild animal flew to the side, as if an invisible force had pushed it away. The seal glowed strangely yet again. Strongly. My bad. Had this not happened before? Allie? It doesn't take long for it to click within my mind as I look up to the gracious look of the hostess standing before me. Reeling from my revelation, I keen care for the beast scampering away at our side. As our eyes lock, I see a mixture of fear and relief reflected in her emerald eyes. Yet also a tinge of sadness. Allie shivers on the spot, and it did not seem to be because of the cold. All my previous thoughts began to cease, with only one thought resting on my mind. I have to reach out to her. I grab her hand, just as she tries to flee. The expression on her face is one of vast timidity I had yet to picture her making, filled with an uncharacteristic sense of woe. At that, I take my chance to speak out. It seems we all have been keeping secrets. Please, let me introduce myself. Huh? Shit. That was really good. Okay. About so far in this demo, I really enjoyed it. That cliffhanger on the end, when things start to unfold. I wonder how things will go after that. Beware of rogue witches. It's gonna be really interesting. Anyways, I like the characters, I like the girls, they're cute. Holly's my favorite. Well, they're really both good, but I just gravitate toward Holly. She's very adorable and fun. Anyways, yeah, this was a really good demo. You can. The developers did a really good job on it, so I give my kudos to them. Anyways, if you want to try out this demo for yourselves and try out different options that I chose, I will provide links down below in the description and the comments. And if you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below. Anyways, thank you, and take care.